What's up, guys? Charlie Zamora with Caffeine and Kilos. I'm here with Morghan King and Dean Kruse. Dean is a phenomenal coach that coaches Morghan. Morghan is a decent weightlifter in the United States. She was so decent that she took 6th this year at the Olympics in Rio. Now she's a superstar. She's awesome. These two are also recently engaged. Got engaged in Brazil at Rio. Really cool thing. So in the spirit of that, of having that relationship and then also having the coaching relationship, due to pop culture, I have created some questions that I want them to ask each other and have them answer. And this is the first time they'll be seeing them when I hand them to them. So we'll see what their answers are for each other, so hopefully be some good insight. Morghan has been an athlete of ours for I think a little over 3 years. It's been a lot of fun, and we've had a really good time knowing her more and knowing Dean. And so this will be kind of a cool way to get some more insight from them. But before I hand them this, I'm going to cruise out of scene, and I would like Morghan and Dean to talk about, one of you could pick who wants to do it, to talk a little bit about your relationship with Caffeine and Kilos, kind of how that started, and then like what brings you here today. Okay. So I'm gonna fade out, and you guys.
Back in 2013, when I had recently moved across the country, I went to nationals, and I think that's when Charlie had first seen me. So I don't know how he got my number. I don't know how. Maybe did he talk to you?
Nope.
Nope.
I didn't know who Charlie was.
So somehow Charlie found my number and he called me and talked my ear off for about 45 minutes, telling me about Caffeine and Kilos and kind of the lifestyle and what they were trying to do, and that's originally what they had when they had started. And so after 45 minutes, I kind of went, okay, that sounds great. And I think the rest is kind of history. You know, I think what really got me is Caffeine and Kilos is very family oriented, and whenever I know I need something or I need help, I can always go to the team and ask for it. And I think that's really important in a sponsor. And you know, over the last 3 years, we've grown pretty close. And yeah, I'm just excited to be a part of such a great product and a great team.
So I'm gonna speak from behind the camera. Dean, what is your experience so far with Caffeine and Kilos? What have you been able to see about us being involved with Morghan as an athlete, as her coach and her fiance, future husband? What's some things that you could talk about with Caffeine and Kilos from your experiences with us?
Yeah, in 2013, we had just moved to North Carolina to join Muscle Driver, and Morghan, we were there for like 2 weeks. And then she won nationals, which is awesome. And we didn't really have any sponsors other than Muscle Driver, who was supporting her. We didn't even think about the professional side of the sport. And obviously you called her, which was awesome. And since then, you guys have been really good to her. You guys aren't pushy at all about anything. It has been an awesome experience for her too, because whenever she goes someplace, you guys pay for her hotel room, you guys hook her up with, if she needs a ride someplace, you guys get her a car, rent her a car, which is awesome. And I don't necessarily think we took it for granted, but it was just one of those things like we never really had to think about. You go to a competition and that's just taken care of for you, which was huge.
Yeah.
I think a lot of athletes obviously don't have that kind of relationship with a sponsor. And they might have sponsors that are similar, but they don't have that kind of relationship. And you guys have been more than just sponsors. You guys are, like she was saying, you guys have been family to her, and it's meant a lot to us. So yeah, man, it's been a fantastic. I mean, you're a good guy. So.
Well, it's definitely the team. You know, I'm always the one that's with the athletes, and so sometimes it's a little bit easier to see me out in front, but it's a team that puts this together.
Yep.
So we have about 14 minutes now, so I'm going to hand you over these questions. I'm talking from behind the camera. If you follow our YouTube, I'm always doing weird shit. So we have 14 minutes. These are 5 questions. I'm going to let Morghan ask her questions first. No, I'm going to let Dean ask his questions first, then Morghan.
I knew it.
So these questions, which were look, my handwriting's awesome. Dean, here's your questions. You get to go and ask Morghan those questions. Question in that order.
I've seen some. I just peeked.
Oh, my bad.
Here's your timer.
Okay.
You can't read it because it's so.
Okay.
Question number one.
Okay, so question number one is, what is your favorite thing that I do?
Well, there are a lot of things, but I think the fact that that you always kind of take over and you're always looking out for me. So anytime, like business, weightlifting, personal, like I know that you always have my best interest at heart, and I think that is very, very important for a partner, and not only a partner but a coach. And I don't think people realize how difficult that is to separate. And so I think we do a pretty good job for the most part of that. So, and then I just think like you're so loyal, you know, and I think that's a huge quality that I like in you.
Nice, good answer. Question number two.
Question number two, if I were an animal, what animal would I be and why?
Oh my gosh. An animal.
You can't say Fergus.
I know. I would say our dog because they are very similar. I would probably say, I don't know. I like to say that he's that he's Kevin from Up because he always makes funny faces. So maybe.
Because I have a big nose.
No, I don't know. But the bird in Up, Kevin, where he goes like. So I don't know if that's a real animal, but awkward, I mean it's a bird.
Super awkward,
so,
not majestic.
No, he'd probably want to be a tiger if he could be anything.
But it has a kind heart. So
yeah. Yeah.
A tiger?
Yeah.
What got you into weightlifting?
You did. No. I wanted to get stronger, and so when I was at your gym, you kind of put me through a strength program and kind of hid the lifts in there, I think, a little bit, and then I kind of just fell in love with it, and I like the perfection of the sport, so, and you were very, very passionate about it, which I think helps to have a coach that really likes what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, queen.
Sounds right. So question number four is, what is something I do as a coach that you admire?
Oh my gosh, you're so dedicated. I mean, even like traveling, we have to stop and you have to work out. You know, it's always training first, and I think that's really admirable. That like, you know, I'm always kind of like out here, over here, and you kind of focus me back in, and you're always looking at the big picture, which is good because I definitely look at day-to-day stuff, and I start to kind of bang my head against the wall and. You know, I don't know, you are probably a little bit more competitive than I am, and so that kind of helps me stay focused, so, I don't know, yeah, that works.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good. What is something that I have done that has changed you as a person and athlete, or athlete?
Both.
I'd probably cry on this one if it was later in the day. I don't know. I mean, I was all over the place when I first met you, and I was doing, you know, triathlons, half marathons, and I really had no kind of focus in life. And when I first met you, I was like, I don't care. I mean, it was mid-20s, you know. And, you know, you kind of gave me a purpose, I guess, in life. And, you know, you brought out the competitive side in me, which I had been missing. Like, I knew I never was going to be good at triathlons, but I enjoyed doing it. And kind of just to have a person by my side through this whole journey, there's no way I could have done it without you. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, a lot of people feel alone in their journey. And so
you definitely could have done it without me. It's just I'm the one.
No, I don't think so. I would have never found weightlifting.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, if you had found weightlifting through any means, you would have made it.
No, I don't think so. That's not true. You're a pretty good coach.
Pretty sure you would have made it.
Pretty sure you're a good coach.
Pretty sure you would have made it. That's the end of my questions.
Good. All right.
That's really good answers. Next 5.
I'm gonna cry.
Morgan asking Dean.
Oh yes, these are good. Oh. Oh no, you can't look at them. Okay. If I was a superhero, who would I be?
A hero or a supervillain, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. And it could be ambiguous of sex. It could be a male superhero or a female superhero.
Or
or creature like the Hulk.
Creature.
I feel like the attributes. I'm not really a superhero guy. Like I don't follow. I never was collecting cards, but I feel like you're physically gifted naturally, so that's like a kind of like a Superman. There's a Superman aspect to you, but you're also. I feel like he's kind of dumb. I don't know. No. I don't. So yeah, I don't think you're so. I don't think you're also kind of smart, like Tony Stark. Maybe not that smart. So I think it'd be like a mix. If there's a superhero, there's like a mix between like a naturally like gifted superhero that
So it's like
somebody that like developed their own superpowers through technology and ingenuity.
So if Superman and Iron Man were to have a child, it would be Morgan.
Yeah, I know those are two different universes, but yeah, if they were to meet.
Yes.
Okay.
Iron Man's my favorite movie out of all the Marvels. Yes. Okay, don't cheat.
I couldn't read it.
No, it's horrible handwriting.
Okay, what's the most annoying thing I do?
That you do, the most annoying.
No.
It's hard. It's hard to prioritize one as the most.
What about when I say,
If we stick to lifting, the most annoying thing that you do is we bicker a lot.
A lot.
And I feel like from my perspective, it always originates from her bickering with me, but I'm sure that if I was to look at it from a third person's point of view, it would definitely be equally shared, maybe, at least. But I definitely feel like she initiates a lot of bickering, and it makes me want to not ever want to step in.
well, hold on. He always says I do the eye roll. And I said, if you're going to coach women, you got to get used to the eye roll. Because that really makes him mad. Because I'm always like, okay, fine.
Yeah, I don't know what the eye roll. I don't know why that makes me. Yeah, so that's it. That's
Okay.
the eye roll. The eye roll would be it specifically. That's what I really find the most,
It's gone.
the most annoying about you.
Okay. What got you into lifting?
What got me into lifting? It was before it was me.
It was you.
I went down to John Thrush's gym in Sumner, Washington, and John Thrush is a great coach, and I don't know, just something about John himself. First of all, when you walk into John's gym, you see a bunch of memorabilia on the wall from like World Championships, Olympics, and he's part of the history that he's put on the wall. Some of his lifters are part of the history that he's put on the wall, and there's just this like really enchanting vibe when you go down there. And I don't know, weightlifting seemed like the most random sport, but I went down there and just absolutely loved it. And John himself is like a really nice guy, and I just vibed down there. It was an hour and a half drive in traffic, but I went down like 4 days a week just to go hang out with John Thrush, and that's how I got into it.
You're a bit of a perfectionist. I mean, he was a
No,
pitcher.
Not at all.
He was a pitcher before, so I feel like technical wise, like it's, inches and millimeters, and that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
you can draw parallels between weightlifting and a million sports,
Yeah, but
if there are a million sports. But yeah, I mean, pitching is similar to weightlifting in that there's a technical aspect. But
Yeah.
I like exercise, and not that it's a sport. It's not just exercise, but the activity itself was really fun.
plus you can get super jacked.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't cheat.
I can't read it.
What is something I do as an athlete that you admire?
You do as an athlete, there's a lot of things actually that you do as an athlete that I admire that I wish, if I was to be a successful athlete, I would have needed to have done. I think you want to win. And it's not you just want to win on that day, you want to win every day leading up to the day of the competition. And that's you can't find that in a lot of people, or at least a lot of I'm not gonna throw anybody in the bus, but we've been around a lot of athletes from Washington to the Carolinas to Colorado Springs, the training center, And there's a lot of people who are very talented, but not everybody wants to win every single day. They want to get to the day of the competition, and maybe then their passion really shines through. But the training days are just another day in the life of them. But for you, it's like you're very focused the entire time through. Get up in the morning, you do what you need to do, warm-ups, you do your recovery, you make all your meals. A lot of people make all their meals, I get that, but that's, you know, that's part of it. I mean, that's part of what you need to do. And every day you're focused on every rep, every set, you're focused on what you can do better and doing that one the best you can, and that's huge. There's other things too I admire about you, but I think yeah, that's definitely one of the ones I admire most. That's hard to find.
Yeah, I'm pretty competitive.
Very competitive. Very competitive, but you like it like lingers, like it burns inside you
Yes.
for the entire training.
Well, it's good because you remind me every day too.
Yeah,
Like I'm kind of one of those people that has to be told to focus, and then once I'm focused, I'm like, oh, okay. But there's never a day that I don't want to win, and like I want to beat everyone, like not just in my weight class, like everyone.
Yeah, she has a list of people and she crosses them off.
I have a Napoleon complex. It's not my fault.
It doesn't matter weight class, you're on the list.
You're on the list. You're all on the
She's
list.
gonna cross you off.
Yeah. What is something that I have done that has changed you as a person and as a coach, or as a coach?
No, both.
And
or as a coach, I have been motivated by your success to take my personal endeavors more seriously, whether it be coaching or whatever it is I want to do. I've learned a lot from the way you approach weightlifting, and I try to apply that to other aspects of my own life. And like I said, like whether that be weightlifting, and like I'm working with you, or I decided I'm going to work with a kid, whether it was in Colorado or wherever it is. Like I feel like I've been inspired to be more professional and more dedicated to whatever aspect or whatever activity that I'm pursuing at that given moment. So like sometimes it's not like what would Morgan do in this situation, but it kind of is like how would she approach this? I think
like video games, you probably go into it too.
Yeah, I definitely the whole 6 hours straight. I'm dedicated to winning, not just
for yourself.
Not just when my friends log on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I'm so inspiring.
Yeah.
Yes, queen.
Yeah. Is that 5 questions?
That was 5 questions.
So my last one is we have about 1:50 left on recording here. Is from Morgan. You'll go second. So Dean first. Most memorable moment from 2016 Olympics this year in Brazil.
In Brazil, or just weightlifting in Quinn's history?
How about while you guys were there?
While we were in Brazil, well, we got engaged. That was pretty memorable.
Stop it.
And her session was super memorable, obviously. I think, yeah, I mean, honestly though, I don't know.
Stop moving.
You got time,
The most memorable moment in weightlifting this year was definitely trials, her last clean and jerk attempt. She made 100. She was in great shape leading up to the meet, and then it just things weren't going well. She was dehydrated. She was not strong that day. She just did not have it, and she was cramping up leading up to clean and jerks, probably 50 kilos. Her leg was cramped up. She couldn't even bend it after it straightened. We had to massage it, and she went out, hit 95, and it didn't look. It looks okay on video, but judging from how in shape she was leading into that, it didn't look great. And I was like, shit, I know she needs 100 to beat Maddie. She goes out, misses 100, comes back, follows herself, and I'm like, she wanted to win so fucking bad. She was nervous, but she was like super excited about the opportunity to go out and win on her last clean and jerk. Like she would have been, most people would have been like, oh shit, like I should have been coming out here and I thought I was gonna do 105, and she had to win on her last clean and jerk at 100. So that was huge. That was clinching her spot on the Olympic team was definitely the most memorable.
My moments, I have to agree, like trials was so much more stressful, I think. because you think about the Olympics, and once you've made it and you're there, it's like just an incredible feeling to be a part of this journey with all of these other athletes and people that you just never thought that you would be competing against. And I think one of the most memorable parts was walking out, because I remember, I don't know who it was, it probably was Melanie Roach, but she was like, relish in the moment, like don't forget that you're there, it's all gonna go by so fast. So as I was walking out, I just remember just being like a kid in a candy shop, just like, holy crap, like this is real. You see the rings behind the platform, and then just, you know, there's just such a lead up into it, and I was ready. I knew I was ready, and I got to a point, I think, in my weightlifting career where it was exciting to compete anymore. It wasn't like, I didn't feel like that was the end all be all, and I was just confident in my ability, and I knew going out there for my snatches that I was ready. Everything felt good in the back. I mean, I had Shaheen back there, I had Piros back there, I had, you know, Kyle Pierce, and then Zygmunt's out in, you know, in the crowd watching along with his family, my best friends. Like, I mean, the support there was just so memorable and so incredible. And then that 83 kilo snatch, man, I mean, I like freaked. And that, I mean, to do it on the Olympic stage was, I mean, you can't beat that. And then not having any idea he was gonna propose. I think that was pretty special. I just kept saying, are you serious? Are you serious? Because, I mean, we never really talked about it. We knew we wanted a future together. We were talking about, you know, what was gonna happen after the Olympics, but we had never talked about marriage. And so, I don't know, that's really special to have that whole moment, like the biggest moment in my life, and everything came together. So, yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard to top 30 in 2016.
2016 was a good year.
Yeah, everyone says 30 is the best year, and definitely was, that's for sure.
Awesome. Thank both of you for being here today, spending time with us. And thank you for being a part of the Caffeine Kilos family. Guys, if you have any comments or anything, drop that below in the messages, the comment section. And you can find these guys on Instagram. And we'll post all of their Instagram handles and websites and all that fun stuff for you in the description. Thanks, guys.
What's up, guys? I'm here with this week's drop. This week we got the men's Indigo movement tee with the gray font, Caffeine Kilos, the lifestyle, the movement USA on our 60/40 blended shirts. Available in sizes small through 3XL, so full size one on these. Perfect shirt for in and out of the gym. You know, favorite cutaway of ours, honestly, that we came out with so far. So yeah, pick them up on caffeinekilos.com.